5.
Okay,
4,
ready, announcer.
3, 2,
And
1.
cue announce.
From the Sony Pictures Studios in Culver City, California, this is Game TV. Now, here's Dave Nemeth and Nancy Sullivan.
Welcome one, welcome all. It's Game TV. That's right.
That's her in the beginning when she does that.
I'm Nancy
She's
Sullivan.
woman of a million voices. Yes,
I
indeed.
am.
Nancy Sullivan. And I'm Dave Nemeth, guy of none. Well, one.
You're
I've
a
got
nun?
one.
I didn't know you were a nun.
I got one voice.
They have guy nuns these days.
Sometimes none, sometimes one, depending on how I'm feeling.
You have a lovely
You,
voice.
on the other hand, have
the woman of many
voices.
voices.
Many voices.
Many faces, too.
And I never get tired of hearing them or looking at them.
Is that right, Dave?
That's true. Boy, do we have a great show today.
We have a great show. We have Mr. Game Show.
Fred Wostbrook is here.
That
and
was Fred.
Today, what was Fred?
Yeah, it was her impersonation of Fred.
No.
Like that, Fred?
I would never. You know, he's way too powerful in the game world to insult. I would never.
Of course not.
Ever get on his bad side.
Of course not. Especially when he's in tight with big guys like Wink Martindale.
Funny you should bring Wink up, Dave.
The Winker.
That's right. We're featuring Wink today.
That's right. Fred likes to call him the Winker.
He is the Winker.
He is the Winker.
He's the most energetic adult I think I've ever met.
But you know,
He's a
you
lovely
can't
man.
you can't be anybody and call him the Winker and get away with it. You gotta
called
be
him the Winker.
Well, you're Nancy Sullivan.
That's right.
Game TV.
And he knows that I'm tight with Fred.
Speaking of the Winker, in the history of televised game shows, probably nobody is more synonymous with hosting game shows than Wink Martindale.
Or
there
the
he
Winker.
is. That's right.
You know, he's hosted 19 game shows. Now, if that's not a legend, I don't know who is.
Rattle some off. I'm sure you know them.
Sure, Tic-Tac-Toe, Gambit, and of course the most recent, Debt, which is on right now. That's just a few. And you know, only Fred's favorite, as we know, the late Bill Cullen, has hosted more game shows than Wink.
Now, recently, Debt is really becoming a big show.
It's
a lot of people are watching
fun.
it. It's a lot of fun to watch. So you decided to take a little trip, day trip.
I took a day trip.
You went behind the scenes. You checked out all the action. Let me ask you, did you get any of your bills paid off?
Oh, you know, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't?
I tried. I gave it my best shot.
You'd think if you could call the guy the Winker, he might be able to pull a few strings and knock off some of your debt.
I was hoping he could just wink and my balance would go to zero.
Doesn't work, huh?
No,
Oh,
not
well.
me. I see. I'm in here. I'm an insider. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm
I
still
see.
in debt, but you know what? I did have a great time. And Wink is such a pro. You know what? We just happen to have our salute going, and it's starting with taking a look at this behind-the-scenes interview at Debt. Let's take a look. Hey, here we are on the set of Debt. We're moments away from the taping. Wink Martindale's here. The contestants are revved up. Boy, they've charged themselves and loaned themselves into oblivion. Let's see if they can get out of it. The interest rate is rising for the fans of Debt. I'm Nancy Sullivan for Game TV, inviting you to join us for a behind-the-scenes peek at the making of Debt as we conduct our own backstage audit of this award-winning game show. And unlike most auditors, they welcomed us with open arms. Here we are at Debt, and I am in the Wink zone. Let me tell you, this is where the man does it all from. And Wink has been doing it all for over 40 years, serving as host for 19 different game shows.
I'm just glad to be around. I'm glad to be doing a show, still on television, having a wonderful time, never had more fun in my life. So I'm just terrifically glad to be in this business and to still be having a lot of fun every day. People knew me from Tic-Tac-Toe. The parents knew me, but now the reason I'm so lucky is that young people know me from this show. Everybody can relate to debt. You know,
Right.
Your debt may be larger or smaller than mine, but we all have debt. And I think it's just wonderful. And of course, we've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So what they are winning is something they already wanted.
Isn't it amazing where game shows for years gave away items, gave all this stuff away? You know, we're giving them money to pay for those items they've gone out and bought.
They've chosen. And
It's like a game show in reverse. One of the things most intrinsic to being a good game show host is to be a good listener. And when you're talking to contestants on a game show, it's that those few seconds you have, usually when they come out, you banter back and forth. You listen to every word they say, because otherwise you can get awfully embarrassed.
Well, what do you know about that? It's screwed up again.
You've been in the business for 40 years.
Yeah.
Where do you get your energy?
I don't know. I think it's genes.
Tight jeans?
The way I look at my career of 19 shows is one of two things. Either everybody wanted me to be their host, which we know is not true, or I just couldn't hold a job. I'll leave it up to you. I just truly enjoy every minute of what I do, and I think that's important.
And we hope you've enjoyed our backstage look at Debt, one game show that can really pay off. I'm out of debt.
You're out of debt, but you're not out of debt, are you?
Not really.
No. What a neat guy. That looked like so much fun.
You know, and the thing that's fun about him is he has this huge appeal because, as he said, the parents know him and now the kids know him. He's very hip. He was reading a question the day I was there, and it was about Alanis Morissette, and he was saying, "It's like rain on your wedding day." And I thought the guy's hip.
Right, he knew what he was doing. You know, I
did.
think the thing that you hit upon that I noticed most about Wink is his energy. He just, you know,
He's
he comes
incredible.
running out there and he's like charged up all the time. And maybe it is the tight jeans. Who knows?
Who knows?
That was funny.
And he's
That
very
was funny.
tongue-in-cheek about things. He's willing to just kind of poke fun at the whole genre while still embracing it.
Right.
He's a great guy.
Lucky man. We're lucky that he's been in the business for as long as he is, and he just keeps on rolling. Looked like a lot of fun.
And you know what we're really lucky about? He's going to be talking on the phone with us later. Fred is going to be back with us. We're going to have Wink live on the phone, so stick around. Next.
All right, James Stewart, who's his next opponent?
Our next player is a former competitive bodybuilder, Wink, who now runs his own gym, and he's also a science fiction writer. Meet Harvey Keith.
Let's go for it. Hello, Harvey.
Hi, Wink.
When's the last time you saw a body like this, huh?
Or a wardrobe, either. Welcome back to Game TV, everybody. Today, we are spotlighting a true American treasure. He is an icon in the game show genre.
Oh, he is. You know, Wink Martindale's not only known for his game shows, but he's known as a producer and a recording artist as well.
And of course, who better to help us out with saluting this amazing talent, Mr. Game Show himself. Please, our big warm welcome for Fred Wostbrock.
Come on in, Fred. How you doing?
Hi, guys. Hi, Nancy.
Nice to see you.
Hello, Dave.
Welcome again, Fred. Good to see you.
You're the man. And I-
Wink Martindale.
Yes, one of your favorites.
Yes.
One of your buddies.
Yes.
You're like you and Wink are like this, right?
I call him the Winker.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
The Winker.
So does she.
Now-
Now, I want to be able to call him the Winker too.
And how did Wink get started?
He was the youngest radio personality in the country. At age 17, his radio career
Wow.
began on WPLI in Tennessee. And from there, he went to WHBQ in Memphis, Tennessee. That's the same station that Elvis Presley's first record was played. As a matter of fact, the Winker and Elvis were boyhood friends.
Isn't that something?
I
Boyhood
didn't know.
friends.
The Winker and the King. It sounds like some kind of, movie.
The
Buddy
Winker
picture.
and the King.
Why not? Sounds like. Now, a lot of folks don't know this, but Wink also was, not only was he on the radio as a DJ, but he was involved in music, and he actually, Wink Martindale,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, has a gold record.
Wink Martindale has sold millions of copies of a record we all know called The Deck of Cards. It came out in 1959, the same year he moved to Los Angeles, and he was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and you hear it every year from Thanksgiving to Christmas. It's called The Deck of Cards.
Why does that not surprise me? It almost seems like it was futuristic, or it was like in the cards, so to speak, that a guy who would have a gold record with a song called Deck of Cards would be playing game shows.
Right.
Or hosting game shows.
It's about a song about a soldier who only had a prayer book, and it was his Bible, his almanac, and a calendar. It's a great song. It's called a narrative. It's a
A
narrative.
narrative.
Because it was a spoken word from Wink Martindale.
I'll be darned.
Well, he also got to speak a lot of words on the radio because he was a DJ. And
Oh, yeah.
when was his DJ career in LA kicked off?
The same year he had his million seller of The Deck of Cards in 1959, he came here to LA, worked on a lot of great stations, and he was #1 in the LA market. And to this day, Wink still has his roots in radio. Right now, he does a syndicated radio show.
Now
So he's a big radio giant.
The first show that he did was a game show, television game show rather. It was
TV
called
show.
What's This Song?
How appropriate.
And that kind of it's just following the steps, isn't it?
Right? That was his first show in 1964 on NBC called What's the Song? And it's interesting because he was not Wink Martindale then. They shortened his name, took off the K. He was Win Martindale.
I talked to him about that. He didn't seem real happy with that change.
No.
That's funny. I guess Win is a good name for someone in the game business, but
That's true. Well, it seems like, it obviously evolved a little further. I'll tell you what, when we get him on the line a little bit later
gonna have
on,
to ask
we're
him
going to
about
ask
that.
him about
Oh,
the
good
actual
question.
the name Wink and how that evolved.
Good question.
I have have a question about, I know he worked with Chuck Barris on 2 of his shows. What were they?
In '67, Winker hosted Dream Girl of '67, and then he hosted a short live show called How's Your Mother-in-Law?
Oh, how is your mother-in-law?
Well, it didn't last too long, but they were 2 cute shows.
Nobody cares about their mother-in-law.
It's got trouble written all over it right from the beginning.
I think so.
Now, in 1970, he was particularly busy because he was the only guy in the business emceeing 2 different game shows.
I love that you know that fact, because it's true. In 1970, only 2 game shows premiered. Not 3, not 4, only 2, both hosted by Wink. One was called Can You Top This? And the other one was called Words and Music. So Winker kind of ushered in the 70s.
Wow. And in the 70s, Gambit was a huge
Gambit.
hit, right?
Big hit from Merrill Heater and Bob Quigley. Gambit, CBS, lasted about 4.5 years. Great show. One of my favorites.
That was a fun show to watch, a fun show to kind of play along with. Then he went on to Tic-Tac-Toe, which was a classic, and we show it here on a regular basis here on Game Show Network.
Tic-Tac-Toe first started on CBS in the summer of '78, then it was syndicated, and went all the way to the mid-'80s with Wink Martindale. Big show. Tic-Tac-Toe and its sister show, Joker's Wild, were equivalent to what Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy is today. Everybody had Tic-Tac-Toe and Joker's Wild.
It was the dynamic duo.
They were the Batman and Robin of game shows.
Absolutely.
Now, were they syndicated or were they strictly network?
They were syndicated.
They were. And were they put in hour blocks like Wheel and Jeopardy often are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, amazing
run. It was a great run, and it really made Wink super, super famous, because it was in almost 100% of the country, like Oprah Winfrey is now.
Right.
And anything with dough in the title, it's got to be a winner, you know? We love that. Now, Wink also went on to produce. He did some things for the Family Channel, am I right?
Yeah, Winker's first show that he created was a show called Headline Chasers in 1985. But then in '93, he hosted and produced and created 4 shows for the Family Channel. The first one being Trivial Pursuit, then Boggle, Jumble, and a show called Shuffle.
Busy man.
They have to end in LA.
So in the '70s, he hosted 2 shows, and then in 1993 and 4, the guy hosted 4 shows.
That's incredible.
When does he rest?
Well, he's not going to rest too much today because we're going to get him on the phone here
work.
in just a little bit. We're going to actually talk to Wink Martindale on the phone, the Winker, as we like to call him. We're going to find out the origin of that name, Wink, so don't go away. We'll talk to Wink Martindale on the phone when we come back.
Hold it. Wait a second. You ready for this? Hello, Willie. Hello, Willie. It's time now to start the show. But I must warn you, your opponent has his own plans for the dough.
A man of many, many talents. Welcome back to Game TV, everybody. Of course, that was Wink Martindale, and we want
Crooning.
Crooning, yes, crooning, as he does so many things so very well. Right now, let's move on. Let's take a look at a clip of Wink on Tattletales.
Yesterday, Bert, was our 5th wedding anniversary. Not 5 years, 5 months. And in that 5-month period...
And they said it would never last.
Yes. I wish I'd have said that. In that 5 months, my wife has never questioned my fidelity.
Your what?
Fidelity. Help me, Orson, help me.
You know he said fertility.
A little slip of the tongue can provide so much comedy.
Just slightly, yes, indeed. And Bert Convy handled it oh so well. Because, you know, Bert's never messed up.
No, not at all.
In his long career, he never made one mistake at all.
And I met Sandy, and she's lovely. And, you know, we have Sandy's husband, Wink, on the phone right now. Hey, Wink.
Hey, Nancy. Hi, Dave. How are you?
We're doing great, Wink.
Hi.
So grateful that you took the time to talk to us today. This is just terrific. We're saluting you here.
Well, I know, and I'm really honored that you're doing that. I really appreciate it.
Hello, Winker.
Hello, Fred. Is that a voice I recognize, Nancy?
I think so.
Could that be the one, the only Fred Westbrook?
Oh,
All right,
absolutely.
Winker.
It is the Grand Poobah himself.
Yes.
Mr. Game Show himself, the only other person besides you who could probably go by that title.
The man wakes up in the morning and says, for a brand new car, answer this question.
Hey, Wink, we wanted to congratulate you because Det is such a great show. Everybody loves it. And I know that the show won the Cable Ace and was nominated for the Daytime Emmy. And I think maybe you had something to do with that.
Well, I hope so, but, you know, you got to have a good show and a good format and a good concept, Nancy, in order for a show to succeed. And what we've done is, I think successfully, hopefully, taken what was good about the genre, incorporated some new energy, added a different twist to the content that'll attract a new group of game show viewers, but satisfy the loyal game viewer. I think we've hopefully interested some new young people into watching game shows while keeping all of the people who've enjoyed game shows over the years.
And you know what, Wink? That's something that you know, we pointed out a little bit earlier. You've been around long enough, and you've hosted so many shows, 19, I believe, and you've covered more than 2 generations of folks who are out there and they know who Wink Martindale is, and that is a real talent that you have. How would you say, or what would you attribute your success and your ongoing energy to?
Well, I don't know, Dave. I can't give you a one-sentence answer on that. I just feel so appreciative that I've been in the business. I've done 19 shows, could never hold a job, obviously. But, you know, after 31 years of doing game shows, and to still be viable, to have a game show that's a hot game show like Det on the air, I just feel, you know, so very gifted. God has handed me something that I've enjoyed doing over the years, and I still enjoy doing. And if there's any word for why all of this has happened, I give it to the man upstairs, because he gave me whatever talents I have to do what I do.
You're very humble.
I'll tell you what's great about Wink Martindale. I say he is the best MC because Wink can read questions at a lightning pace, and it's not easy to do. Tic-tac-toe, he did that to perfection, and with Det now, he does that to utter perfection.
I think, you know, there are a lot of people think that doing what you do, Wink, is an easy job to do. And just the fact that if you look over time and you look at all the game shows that have been on the air, and then you look at the percentage of people who've actually hosted them, there aren't a whole lot of people who can get away with it. And you are absolutely at the top level, the cream of the crop. And that says an awful lot about your talent.
Well, thanks, Dave. First of all, let me say to what Fred said, Fred, you said nice things. Does that mean the percentage is going from 10 to 15% now?
Yes, that is it, Winker.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Hey,
But Dave, you know, when I started doing game shows, I got to tell you this, and I don't know your background, whether you came from radio or not, but so many of us game show people came from hosting or being DJs. And I did DJ work from the time I was 17 years old in Memphis and out here. So I've been a radio disc jockey for a lot of years before I got into game shows. And I think that was a good training ground. And unfortunately, for young people who ask me today, you know, what do I do to be a game show host? I said, well, first of all, get into a legitimate business, for Pete's sake. but I can't, ordinarily I would say, you know, get into radio. But there are so few radio jobs available now where you can train. I think that being a radio DJ is what I'm trying to say, is it gives you that ability to ad-lib, to learn how to handle instantaneous, spontaneous situations. And so many kids today don't have that.
That's
You gotta think quickly, don't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
you really do.
And also, it doesn't hurt to have a name like Wink. Now, I think that a guy named Wink has to go into game shows. Where did you get that name, Wink?
Well, actually, Nancy, it started as, my real name is Winston.
How elegant.
Winston Conrad Martindale.
Goodness.
And when I was a kid, about 6 or 7 years old, Mom tells me that in Jackson, Tennessee, I had a little playmate. His name was Jimmy McCord. Lived across the street, and we used to play cars under their house, you know, in the dirt and all of that. And Jimmy couldn't say Winston, and whatever he said came out something sounding like Winky. So I became the Winky Martindale of the neighborhood. And it caught on, and with the exception of one game show, my first on NBC, called What's This Song? I've been Wink ever since. There was one, for that show, there was one executive in New York, Bob Aaron, who felt Wink was too juvenile sounding. So they knocked the K off, and I was Win Martindale for a year.
And then you took Wink back?
Yeah, I took Wink back, and it's been Wink ever since.
Oh, and the Winker.
And the Winker.
Otherwise, we could call you the Winner, which isn't too bad in the world of games.
I kind of like the Winkmeister of game shows.
The
Winkmeister.
The Winkster.
There's another nickname for Fred to call you.
Yeah, right.
That is so cute, the way he just refers to you as Winker and the Winker. And
it's always, he can be talking to anybody. He could be talking to the President of the United States. He would refer to me as the Winker.
Well, Wink, we are so glad you took the time to chat with us today. We salute you. We appreciate all you've done for game shows and television, and many, many more years. We hope you will continue to do what you do best.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thank you, Nancy, and you
Thanks,
too, Fred,
Wink.
for being there. And I want to say to the Game Show Network and everybody involved, I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to salute me.
Oh,
Well,
here's to ya.
you deserve it, sir.
Thanks, Winker.
Okay, I'll raise a cup of coffee to you right now.
All right.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Wink.
All right, what a guy. Hey, stick around. We have more Game TV right after this.
Welcome back to Game TV, everybody. Fred, you just brought up something about Wink that I thought was interesting. He's got a bunch of chihuahuas. How many?
Seven
chihuahuas.
cute little doggies.
Unnatural.
Chihuahuas.
And he's been married for quite some time, which is not an easy thing to do in Hollywood.
21 years. See,
21
that's one of those marriages that lasted tattletales.
There you go.
Tattletales
You made
did
it through
not affect
Tattletales.
it.
You know it's a solid relationship.
Absolutely.
Her name is Sandy, Miss Sandy.
She's lovely.
And she's beautiful, and she's just a great lady.
And they have
She's
children,
youthful and lovely.
grandchildren,
Yeah.
the whole ball of wax.
He's a rich man with a great family.
Well, lots of information here coming from Fred about Wink Martindale. And you know what? If you need more information about Wink or any other host or game show, you can order this. What is it? It's Fred's book. That's right. It's the Encyclopedia of TV Game Shows. You can purchase the softcover version for $19.95. Just call 1-800-322-8755. That's 1-800-322-8755, and you can get, there it is, the Encyclopedia of TV Game Shows. Let me tell you, anything and you want to know about game shows or hosts or anything about it, dates, you've got it. It's all in
Isn't
here.
it? Wink's right here on the cover. Is that what you're pointing at?
Yeah, the
There he
Winker's
is,
right
big
there
smile.
from Gambit.
What
Yeah.
a guy.
19
He's
different
the
game
most
shows.
spry adult in the world. I mean, he's kind of the human chihuahua. He's not yappy, but he has the energy of a chihuahua.
And a humble man, and we really appreciate him calling
We
in and talking
love
to
you,
us.
Winker.
And Fred, thanks again to you.
My
for being
pleasure.
here.
Thank you,
We
Thanks,
appreciate it,
gang.
as always.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Nance.
watching. We'll be back with the next Game TV.
Some of our prizes are from Service Merchandise. Select top name brands from our catalog or redeem at any one of our over 400 stores nationwide from Service Merchandise. Some of our winners will receive a gift certificate from JCPenney for a 3-sheet portrait package valued at $39.95. Photography by JCPenney, creating memories for a lifetime.
If you like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more. And check out my Facebook page for other exciting content.